after I combed through the code a little bit, which I decided not to record because it was just a lot of going up and down through the code, I realized I needed to kind of restructure a few things and rename some things for some clarity. So we're actually going to return an int array. We're going to change this to be get player's card values. We'll create an array list of integer. And then we'll just return the array list, and we'll convert it to an array before we do that. So at this point you can see I've gotten a little bit lost. You're going to see me write some code and then get rid of it. I like to keep these projects very real as to what the process was to get there, and so this is why I leave this in, to show that I don't always have the right solution right off the bat, and I have to play with it a little bit before I get the right solution. So the royal flush became increasingly complex, at least in my head. So we're going to start out with looking to see if the hand contains the value 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So that's going to be our 10 card, 11 would be jack, 12 would be queen, 13 would be king, and then ace would be our 14. So if it has all of those, which that you have to have those cards in order to make up a royal flush, then we will go in further and look to see to make sure that the suits are the same. Again, this is a section where you'll see me write some code and then get rid of it because it ends up not working. And as I look back, I'm not quite sure what I was trying to do with all of this. We can see that I've created a for loop where I'm going to cycle through the whole cards. And then just see if the whole card values equal 10, and if it's the same suit. And I try a few different things and end up getting rid of it. So at this point, I've started a different idea where I have gotten rid of that code I was going through. And I'm going to cycle through the whole cards. But first I'm going to figure out which suit these cards are supposed to be a part of. So the idea here is that we will cycle through each of the cards, and if it contains the suit of hearts, clubs, diamonds, or spades, we will increment that counter at the top. Now we can go through and check to see which suit has the highest number of cards. And in fact, actually, it has to have 5 or more because they have to all be in the same suit. And so if they're not, then we know we can just disregard this and, again, optimization of the code. Now we're going to remove some code and make another method. We're going to call that Git Values of suit. So we'll pass it in a player. We're also going to pass it in the suit so we know which one we're looking for. And if the player has a card that is a part of the suit that was given, then we will add it to the list. We'll add the value to the list that we're going to send back. Now we can update how we are going to give in dummy data for our testing. First, we'll start with adding a player list. Right now, we'll just add one player for our purposes. And then we will add a list of community cards. With that, we can then display who the winners are for a row of flesh. So we can see that there's still an issue, do a little bit of refactoring where we're putting this print statement. And now we want to see why it's not working the way we want to because we're getting an empty list. So we're going to print out the values of hearts, diamonds, spades, and clubs counter. And we see that, well, they're only getting up to 2, which makes sense because we're looking at the get whole cards. So we're going to do some refactoring to look at all of the cards that a player would have in their hand. And we're back to getting the temp player's card all. cards all method. It got removed for some reason, and now we're coming back and actually adding it in. Because obviously it's needed, we need to get the community cards plus the whole cards together for each player's hand. Then we can go back and update Royal Flush method and use all the temp cards, or the hand cards. Now when we run it, we see that we are getting a 5. And we're going to print out the list of values, which works now, but that's only for the Git whole cards. So we want to print all of them that would be in their hand. Now we can see that all of the cards relevant to this hand are printing out.